Okay, here we are in Hogwarts Legacy. Let's check our settings here. So we're at 1440p with FSR on, apparently. We'll start with it off. This is a 1000 series GPU, so we don't have access to DLSS. That's the only negative. So we're going to have to go with FSR. FSR is fine. I mean, DLSS is a little bit better, I would say, but we'll be fine. So 1440p medium, no scaling whatsoever. And you can see that VRAM there. It's nice that this card has 8 gigabytes. We're up to 5.3. So, you know, we'd be okay with the 1060 6 gigabytes, but it's not a very powerful card comparatively. So, and good frame rates, 1440p and native on medium. This is a pretty old card, and this is a very demanding game. And you can see here, you know, it has the raw power. This isn't 1080p gaming. This is 1440p gaming medium. Look at the lows too, 21, 19, and some bad spots. I mean, it's really not that bad. I've been playing on various very high-end modern laptops, and you know, they really get beat up by this game. I think is going to be enough. Just the lightest FSR at 1440p on medium, and I think we're going to get close to our 60. Yeah, I mean, rock solid performance. 70 FPS, 69 on average. 33 is the lows with the lightest DLSS. And again, this is 1440p. You throw on the lightest FSR at 1440p, you're not even going to notice it's on. Real quality, I'll put that up to ultra, and I'll turn textures quality up to ultra, and I'll leave everything else on medium because you don't really need it. There's no point in trying ray tracing in that. I mean, what's the point? Not on a card like this. So this is medium now with ultra textures and ultra materials. And, you know, we're still down. We're still doing quite well. Average is up to 55, down to 55. But, like, again, this is a type game. I play this on 45, intentionally, on the PS5. Okay, so this is The Witcher 3 now. 1440p. And looks pretty good. 84 right now. It looks like we're averaging 92 or so. I guess it depends where we are. Rock solid, 0.1% lows. Up to 52. So actually really good performance here. Again, this is just like medium. It's not the most demanding. Let's turn it up a little bit. Okay, so now we're on high. I mean, it's still running fine. 1440p. No FSR with anti-aliasing on too. You know, we got the VRAM. We're not having issues with VRAM here. We got, looks like we're using about 5.2 gig. Yeah, I mean, it's running well. Let's go more, I guess. Yeah, now we're at ultra, 1440p native. And I mean, this is the, I don't know, I would call it like a remaster. I just call it like next gen, I guess Witcher next gen. And it's much more demanding than the like original version or whatever. So, I mean, here we go. You don't even need DLSS. You don't even need FSR. You know, 62 on average. The 1% lows are rock solid, 0.1% lows. There was a dip there for a moment, but whatever. Okay, so now we're in Red Dead Redemption 2. So we have, let's play with the settings here a bit. We'll turn TAA, I don't know, medium, FXAA on, and we're going to go with these and scaling off medium presets all the way across the board. But I then throw textures on ultra, so 50 FPS basically. 1440p native and ultra textures, and away you go. Maybe it'll go down when we get into the town area. It seems to be really high, 50 FPS. Last gen consoles and this gen consoles, PS5 and Xbox Series X. I have both of them. And it runs at 30 FPS. I actually play this game on the Series X, and it runs at 30 FPS. So, I mean, you're not quite doubling the Series X, but you're pretty close. It's pretty slow. So, I mean, there's really not a lot going on that's quite fast, so you can certainly play like that. But let's throw on quality FSR and just see what it gets us. Maybe it gets us, you know, 55 or, you know, it's exactly 55. And the lows are great too. So 43 for the lows, 55, and then 52. This is a very demanding area, and there's lots of people here, water, animals. So yeah, I'd probably throw a little bit of FSR actually. And then you're going to be closer to 50 than to like, you know, 45 or 40 when you're in those areas. We do have a decent amount of VRAM here, 8 gigabytes. So I don't know, let's go there. High, 3 gigabytes. So yeah, I don't know. We'll just go with that to start. It's probably going to be too much, but we'll try it out. So 1440p, pretty high settings. Oh, okay, it's actually pretty good. So it's kind of like, again, last gen console. I keep saying that. 30 to 35 FPS. PS4, Xbox One. At this game, it looks great, to be honest. So that's a good baseline there. I mean, it's going to go up or down, but I mean, it's going to run at basically 30 to 37 FPS. The game is super well optimized, so there isn't a lot of drops down. But yeah, we could lower the settings, but rather than doing that, let's just do some FSR. So we'll try quality. That should get us up to like 40 to 5, I would say, which is probably a better place to be. Oh, it jumped even more. So we're at 50. Okay, so that's probably a good spot for a lot of people. Pretty high settings, to be honest, and just the lightest FSR. And we're at 50 here, 51, 52, good lows. So I think you could get away with it. Again, it's a story-based game. There is action, of course, but it's not like a FPS shooter where you're, if you're slightly slower than the other person, then you die. It's not that kind of game. It's a story-based game. But basically, ultra presets. I mean, we can put that up. It's not going to make a difference. And then no FSR, 1440p. Oh, okay. So 1440p ultra, and it's running fine. I mean, you can play this game on like the ROG Ally and at 1080p at least, and it runs fine. It's the lows that would concern me. I'm bringing my biggest squad here, my Necromancer, so that I can really tank the frames when we get into a feud. It's loud. Set. Now we're at high, and we have the lightest FSR on. And this is probably better. We're not dropping the lows way down to like 10 and 12. So just a tiny little bit of FSR, and throw it on high. You can absolutely get away with Ultra, 1440p Ultra, native in this game, especially if you're just playing casually. But if you are playing hardcore, meaning if you die, your character's dead, like dead, you're not going to want that to happen. So, if you get a huge lag spike, you can die legitimately. So 1440p, we have the VRAM to do high. You can see there we have 8 gigabytes, but I don't think it's going to perform that well. So let's go with medium. We still have, 8 gigabytes to work with. So we're still stretching our legs on the card a bit, but I mean, it's like a fairly old card. So yeah, so 1440p medium is going to give you, I guess, like console, last gen console playable, PS4 and Xbox One, basically. 30 FPS pretty much locked. I guess it's not that complicated. It's just, kind of like last gen console. Okay, let's just throw in a little bit of scaling here. So we'll go with a little bit of FSR. Quality, let's see if quality can get us to like 45, which I'd call like a balanced mode. I don't think it will, probably be closer to 40, but let's see. You never know. Oh wow, okay. Huge jump. Yeah, all right. Yeah, some of these games, I mean, it's the resolution that really kills it. The graphics settings, I mean, you can turn them up and down. It does make a difference, but it's the scaling that really makes a huge difference. Is that a ray tracing on? No. But yeah, it's 45. So 1440p, medium, the lightest FSR, and you're basically getting like balanced mode here. 45 FPS. It's actually better than I thought it was going to run, to be honest. Balanced FSR, not even performance, and we're just shy of 60. So this is probably the way to go, to be honest. 1440p medium, and just throw it on balanced. I mean, we're getting 60 over here, and then, on average, the lows are rock solid in this game. Like 51 down there, 43 over here. I mean, those are very good lows. Let's just try some like default medium 1080p with no scaling. Should get us 45 based on. Okay, so 1080p medium, it's just basically you just play the game. There's no point in like scaling at all. Just 55, it's fine. Especially a game like this, I mean, you don't need 60. There's going to be zero difference between 55 and 60. This is not a competitive shooter. Oh, okay. 1440p performance is good. You can just play. Okay, so there you go. 1440p performance mode on Horizon Zero Dawn is good to go. 65 lows, 0.1% lows, 73 on average. So, all right, let's turn it up. Again, sometimes these games kind of surprise me how well they run. Let's just leapfrog over balance and let's just go up to high. Yeah, so 1440p high, native, no scaling, and 53 on average, 33 for the 0.1% lows. If you want to play native, this is probably the way to go, to be honest. It's actually running quite well, to be honest. Our ultra quality, that's going to be more than enough because we're just shy of 60. There you go, there's your 60. So 1440p, ultra quality FSR, so just the absolute mildest FSR, and we're on high. And it's running perfectly. I mean, obviously, the game is well optimized, to be honest. It is actually a very well optimized game. So there you go. I mean, it runs absolutely perfectly. 1440p, just throw on the mildest FSR, and away you go. You can turn the game up to max. 60 on average, 36 lows. There's no point in, doing too much testing. It's obviously extremely playable here. So we'll go 1440p medium, and we'll start with FSR off and just see how that works. I don't think it's going to run that great with 1440p medium, but we'll see. So 1440p medium with no FSR. Actually, it's running better than I thought. I thought it was going to get like 10 FPS. It's actually getting like a 30 with good lows. So this is like, I don't know, last gen console, I guess I'd call it. Where they often shot for 30. So we'll start with just quality FSR. Hopefully this can get us up to like 45 or so. Yeah, there you go. So 1440p medium with just the lightest FSR, just quality FSR. And away you go. 45 FPS. Again, this is like what I call balanced mode. So I've said this before, and when I play Hogwarts Legacy on the PS5, I play at like balanced mode, which goes like 45 to 50 FPS or so. And yeah, like it's not dipping, right? So we're getting actually good frame rates here. You could just play like this, 1440p. I'd probably turn it up a bit. So FSR balanced, this will make most people happy. 1600p again, this is not 1080p. This is 1600p medium. This game is panned for being hard to run and poorly optimized and yada, yada, yada. You can see the VRAM usage up there is pretty high. And 1600p medium with balanced FSR. Can't really tell when you're on balance. It's not till really you get up to performance that it starts to look bad. Jump around a grenade. How can he just eat a lightsaber? Doesn't make any sense. He's not even blocking. So yeah, this is 1080p medium, no scaling. And I mean, like expected, up to F50. So if you have a 1080p screen, I mean, I guess you could just throw it on medium and away you go. This is like, kind of balance mode again, 45 to 50 FPS. You could probably get away with the lightest FSR here. I wouldn't put it on too much FSR. It's going to start to look blurry when you're at a lower resolution. But throw on quality, and this should get us about 60, and we'll be good to go, I'm assuming. Yeah, so that's way above 60. So now we're at 73 FPS, 63 lows. So yeah, 1080p, just throw on the lightest FSR, throw it on medium, away you go.